Hi, Danny. Thanks for joining us on a bonus episode of BA11 TV just before the start of the season. We're facing up to Cribs this coming weekend, but first of all, how are you doing?
Yeah, doing really well, thank you. Had a bit of a pre-season couple of days away, which was nice, and then back to it, and yeah, a good week's training and a good performance on Saturday. So we're all ready to go into this all important week.
Yeah, no, we're really excited. So yeah, you mentioned it was a pretty thumping win against Northley at the weekend. Must have been really pleasing to put in a performance like that, finish the friendlies on a high.
Yeah, definitely. I think yeah, if you could pick a way to end pre-season, it would be something similar to what we've done. A clean sheet, a really strong performance. No individual poor performances. Everyone performed at a really good level, which has left us with a really big headache going into Saturday. And we created a number of chances, scored a number of goals, and yeah, it's ideal really to go into this week of training in confident and buoyant mood and hopefully take that in to continue that on Saturday.
Yeah, and this preseason, how useful has it been to have those challenging ties against the National League sides, and then quite a range of teams you've been playing? It
Yeah.
must have been useful.
Yeah, it's been a really testing pre-season. I think every manager will probably say this, like availability challenges. We've tried to implement a slightly new way of playing this year in terms of our shape. So it's probably taken a while to try and embed that. We've done quite a lot of work on it in training. Then in the games is about just tweaking small things and just making sure the messages are landing in terms of what we want to do. And slowly that's got better. Yeah, in terms of the fixtures itself, you couldn't open up with a tougher fixture than Bath City, and really good performance. We then followed that up with Dorchester, obviously step three, good performance there. And then even the two Western League sides that we played, Street and Bridgewater, at the time when we played them, they were 1 week out from starting their league campaign. So they were, and you could see in the level of performance that they were ready for their league to start, whereas we still had 3 weeks to go and we were still slightly undercooked. And you could see that aggression and intensity in their play was there, and we just weren't quite there. So even those games were really tough against the Western League oppositions. See, Street have just hammered someone 9-0 on Saturday, and Bridgewater have won 3-3. So and then yeah, to finish off with what we feel was a really realistic game for our level against North Leeds, step four, equivalent league of ours, but in the central division. We always try and do that if we can. Finish with a side of our equivalent level was yeah, really positive. So even though we haven't played the likes of pro clubs, Rover, City, Swindon, Forest Green, what have you, like some of the other clubs have, we feel that we've had a really testing pre-season and a really realistic one, which will set us up for the season.
Definitely. And we've had quite a number of new faces join us in the last few weeks. Can you give us a bit of insight into the type of players we're bringing on board?
Yeah, sure. Obviously, at the start of pre-season, we brought in Matt Wood and Ben Griffiths that we've announced and talked about already. But yeah, more recently we've agreed to sign Caleb Summerfield, who's a fullback. Actually, very versatile, fullback, wingback, centre half, however we want to use him. And he's come in. He's been with us all of pre-season on trial and performed really well. And he's earned himself a deal. We've just also agreed a signing of Thomas Duffin, who's an American lad. So born and bred in America, dual citizenship with over in the UK through his grandparents. He's only young, he's 18, but he's got decent pedigree. He's playing at a good standard over in the US. He's been over a number of times to the UK on trial with the likes of Rangers and more recently Crystal Palace. So he's well thought of. And he started the summer at Bath City. We got wind of his availability, and he's come in. He's done really well and scored an outstanding goal on Saturday, which shows, yeah, really good finish. To be fair to him, it shows the sort of ability he's got. And then in the last 7 days, we've signed Ross Bailey and Joe Budd. Probably slightly different level of player to the two I just mentioned previously. These two are established players who've been there and done it. Ross Bailey, more experienced player, but he's been through the leagues with Taunton, Hereford, been a pro at Bristol Rovers, good pedigree, and he was outstanding on Saturday. And Joe Budd, younger player, so he's 20, but he's got a lot of experience for his age. Again, he came through the Bristol Rovers setup and had a year or so at Taunton. He was part of their promotion out of the Southern Prem. Scored against us last pre-season for Taunton as well, with a nice finish. And he's just been over to New Zealand for a little spell with Ross. So I think we're getting two real quality players in those two, and the whole group's just going from strength to strength now in terms of the quality. Looking around the dressing room before the game on Saturday, there's real competition for places, and that's probably something we didn't have last year. The injuries left us really short. We go back to the year we were successful. We had 16, 17 players that could all come in and perform and keep the other players on their toes. And I think it's healthy to have that level of competition, and we're going to need that if we want to be successful this year.
Yeah, hugely exciting. Just out of interest, lots of these players have had experiences playing away abroad, and we've had a few guys leave the club going to America. How
Yeah.
important is that? Like, just as a kind of building confidence for these players and growing. How do
Yeah,
you think?
I'm not sure. It's an interesting one with the boys that we've just signed who have been away to New Zealand. I think totally different style of football. Again, speaking to Thomas Dutton, who was playing in the US, again, completely different style of football. It's very, very technical and tactical. So they'll bring that element to us. The physicality is totally different. The level we play at in step forward non-league, there's a level of physicality to it. So it's a bit more hustle and bustle, and you've got to be mentally and physically strong in our league. So I think it's all good. I think it's more good life experiences for the guys when they do go off abroad and experience different things, and they can bring little elements back into their football with us. So all positive.
Yeah, fascinating. And some sad farewells to some of the fan favourites from last season. Any kind of parting words for Jack and Conrad?
Yeah, I think firstly, I'll start with Conrad. I think I said it in my notes when we announced that he was departing. I think a super lad, just a real good character. A lot of people probably would have thrown the towel in at times last year when he was trying to make his way into the team, but we had numerous conversations. At one point, he was going out on loan. We had an injury, a bit of unavailability. He came into the side and performed unbelievably and kept his shirt. And he was one of the ones I was really, really proud of last year when we were playing that number of games, and he was playing 90 minutes 3 times a week towards the end, and performing at such a high level for one so young. And he almost had to carry the team a little bit with one or two others. So yeah, massive respect to him and wish him all the best. And again, it shows what character he was. He was moving to London, wanted to commute, tried it through pre-season. It just wasn't sustainable. So he goes with our wishes and goes with our best wishes. And Jack Whitcomb, local lad, he's had a couple of spells with us and plays with his heart in this league, gives absolutely everything for the club. But again, work commitments are just. I was really clear on this year, and I think it's probably led to some of the departures I wanted. This year I want 100% commitment, and if you can't do that, then irrespective of your abilities, you're probably not going to be right for us in terms of training, being available for the games Saturday, Tuesday for 9 months. And unfortunately, Jack couldn't commit to that. His work commitments means he can't train. He's going to miss a couple of Saturdays a month through work commitments. So it was never going to work at this level. So he goes again with our blessing, and as soon as his work circumstances change, then we'll have a conversation. Hopefully, he can come back.
Yeah, no, it's a shame, but we wish them all the best.
Yeah.
We discussed fitness a lot last time round, and kind of minutes in the leg became a bit of a mantra for this preseason.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I suppose the discussions kind of changed over pre-season into a more tactical one. And are we
100%.
expecting to be surprised by the football that we see on Saturday?
Um, I think the guys who I think we had a small following on Saturday that came to watch us, about 5 or 6, and I heard Cribs were watching as well from
Yeah,
listening to seeing their manager's interview the other day. So yeah, I think we want to try and play exciting football. Yeah, we do want to have control of the ball because if we got it, they haven't got it, and they can't score. But we want to try and play a little bit quicker. We want to try and get the ball into the final third, and we want to try and score as many goals as we can. So I think there'll be a few subtle tweaks that maybe people won't see, but we've been working on in house in terms of how we build, how we attack, how we defend, how we press. All of those basic things that every manager will be working on. But yeah, in terms of style of play, we'll see whether the fans see a difference in the coming games. But at the end of the day, they just want to see results, right? They want to see results and goals, and their team winning. So hopefully we can deliver.
yeah, everyone's a critic. But anyway,
Yeah, exactly.
taking into account a couple of injuries, do you have a starting lineup finalized for the Cribs game?
Um, yeah, I've probably got. I think after this weekend, I've probably got a fair idea in my mind. There's a few bits that we're waiting on actually that we can't actually finalise our team until we get a few updates. So we've got the 3 boys that we've just mentioned that we signed: Thomas Duffin, Ross Daly, Joe Budd. We're waiting for international clearance to come through for those boys. So if we don't get that, then they won't be available, and it's very touch and go now for that. So we do need to plan with and without them.
Got it.
So it's not as clear cut. But to be honest, the performance levels in the last couple of weeks have been such a high level from all 16, 17 players that we've used. I'd be comfortable going with any 11 really. They all know what we do, and they've all performed to a good level. So we're in a good place. I would ideally like everybody available to select from, but that might not be the case.
Sure. And what are you most excited about this season, apart from the trip to Mousel?
Yeah, and the trip to Falmouth in a couple of weeks. Yeah, I'm I'm excited to see what we can do if we can manage to keep everybody fit. Definitely. I think we've got some real good young talent who performed superbly well last year. I'm really excited to see how a couple of those boys develop over the course of the season because they're only going to get better. You add in the experienced boys, and if they perform to the levels that we know they're capable of, then yeah, we could be on to a successful season. I think in terms of setting targets and all of that sort of stuff, we haven't done that this year. Players obviously will say certain things. I want to be better than what we were last year, which means if we do that, we won't be far away from the playoffs. But other than that, I just want to see us. I just want to see us grow as a team. I want to see good individual performances. I want to see the players improve. And if we tick all those boxes, then we will have a good season.
Definitely, hugely exciting. Sam Teal mentioned the team social. There was a bit of
Yeah.
about that. Were you privy to any of the antics that were going on?
I was there myself and Simo were there. Probably fueling some of the some
Okay,
of
good.
the antics with a few shots here and there and a few beers here and there that we were feeding them. But no, it was a good night and something you need to do, a bit of bonding, and we left early and left them to it, and I think that's when it started to go
Yeah,
downhill a little bit with the skipper needing to grow up a little bit, I think.
boys will be boys. Anyway,
Exactly.
um, any message to the fans ahead of the season?
Yeah, I think I cannot underestimate how big and important they're going to be for us. We've over the last few years we've made Badgers Hill a bit of a fortress, and that's down to the level of support that we get. It's a great environment for us to play in, but I can imagine it can be quite an intimidating environment for the opposition to come and play in. We don't want it to be a nice place for people to come. We want it to be a little bit hostile, and we want the backing behind us, and we want that noise. So I think I would like it to be from day one that the fans can get behind us and support us and give us that extra 5-10%, and then hopefully we can reward them with performances and wins, rather than it being the other way around. Sometimes we need to put the performances in, score a few goals, get a few wins, and then all of a sudden the atmosphere builds. If we can have it right from minute one on Saturday, that we get a good attendance in through the gates, lots of noise from the start, and then I'm sure if we perform like we have done in the recent weeks, then the results will come. But not underestimating Saturday, by the way. I know we haven't touched on that, but it's going to be a really, really tough game. First games of the season are always really unpredictable. We've seen them all the results over the weekend in the Football League, some really unpredictable stuff. And I think Cribs have done absolutely amazing to get to the level they're now playing at. Who would have thought a few years ago that Cribs would be playing Frome in a Southern League game, but they've done absolutely superbly well. They're coming into our league on the back of really good form through pre-season last year. Stubborn side, don't concede, hardly lost a game in the last 12 months. And they're coming here with absolutely nothing to lose, and they will thrive in this environment. I know their manager, I know what he'll be about, and I know how he will get his team fired right up for it. So we've got to match that. We've got to be up for it. And then, hopefully come 4:45, 10:05, 5 o'clock nowadays with the 100-minute games. We'll hopefully be sat there with a good start, but we've got to earn it first.
Well, it should be really, really tasty fixture to whet the appetite. Tickets are available on the website. Season tickets still available as well. So we'll see you there, Danny. Thanks again for joining me.
No problem. Cheers, Seb. Speak to you soon.
Soon.